Wade in the water. Wade in the water.
Wade in the water.
Hey!
Wade in the water.
I'm outside and Bubba's in the house. I said, Master, what's going on? And Master said, boy, get it down and get that aim. And I said, why Bubba's gotta be inside the house? Cause she's beautiful. And they had me outside. They say, Rick, get outside.
Because we were talking about this, that like obviously like the fair skinned females, the mixed, would be inside the house. And I told him he'd be outside picking cotton or something, doing the labor work. We probably escaped together. He probably done grabbed my fine self. He said, let's go ahead and run away together. Let's go to Jersey and be free citizens.
Yeah, I'm telling you, in a past life, if I was a slave, they killed me. Me and Bubbles was running away. Bow, bow. Yeah, we were running. What's like they did in Django? Yeah, we was at that Django movie. Me and Bubbles, Django. But hey, man, I hope everybody's blessed, well, and healthy. Look, we just come here having fun. If you're too sensitive and can't take jokes, you might have clicked on the wrong video today. I ain't gonna lie to you, but we are learning something educational and learning. And first time seeing and hearing a video that we have today of the first slave owner, and they say the fellow was black. First slave owner in the colonies, black.
In
Anthony Johnson,
meaning in the United States.
Yeah, but shout out to all our history buffs out there. But hey, look at our y'all like our shirts, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to our brother Bobby. That we opened up family gifts and family meal today.
We looking this good because of Bobby.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about, look at this sexy long sleeve. I can't wait to rock this. And I want y'all to remember that. Hey, look at that. Oh look at that long sleeve. I mean, can't make that up, man. Bobby, I love you. If you're watching right now, thank you for just all the love and support that you show me and Bubbles and me for a while now. And I hope you had an amazing birthday last week. And we love all you guys, man. And one thing I want to say before we get into today's video, that everybody is loved and accepted on this channel. No matter what skin color you are, we are colorblind. We don't care what your skin color is, what you look like, what you smell like, how tall, how short, how big, how skinny, what your age is. On this channel, you are loved. We don't care if you've done something terrible in your past, something very, evil or negative. Hey, on this channel, you are loved. You feel me? And that's one thing we need to realize, that we got to come together and love each other, man. You know what I'm saying? Love one another. You never know what somebody's going through, what they've seen, what they're battling with, what they're dealing with, And again, history is history. And, the past is the past,
Let's not repeat it.
You know what I'm saying? But we got to be better people. Just be the best human that you could be every single day, man. And that's what I want to come on here and tell y'all. But we love y'all, and we wishing the best for everybody, man. And don't feel like I'm better than nobody. I don't feel like I'm better than her, you, him. I don't think that way. You know what I'm saying? Every single day, it's just another day to become a better person. You feel me? And spread that love. But got OK Ash with me, Bubbles. Y'all know it's Bubbles Saturdays, and we just try to have fun and taking all you guys' requests. And a lot of y'all actually send us this video. So I said I'm gonna just wait till Bubbles get here Saturday to check it out, because I know a lot of y'all wanted me to check it out. But I said I'm gonna do it with Bubbles. You know what I'm saying? Because Bubbles is she has it up here. You know what I'm saying? She takes in things very differently than me. So I was like, you know what? I gotta do this. We both have different views and stuff like that. So when we come together and talk about things, it's you know what I'm saying? So we love y'all. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. But we're gonna get into this video, and it's about Forgotten History. As most of y'all know, Forgotten History has made some banger videos and content well put together. And I want to send love to our veterans on the channel, to anyone that's ever served in the armed forces. We thank you, we love you. And I wanted to send my love and condolences to the passing of our soldiers, to the family and friends, man. And shout out to our brother Bobby that sent us these shirts, man. I'm telling you, our one of our favorite veterans on the channel, man.
I can see myself wearing this in the gym. It'd be good with some shorts.
I love that shirt though. I miss the country I grew up in, man.
Yes.
But hey,
I'd be proud to wear this.
You know what I'm saying? But hey, if you don't like America, if you hate America or not, just know on this video, we still love you. And everybody is tied to their own opinion, their own beliefs. And again, No, I don't care if you're a Republican, Democrat, or if you believe in this or that. If you don't like him or her, I want you to know that on this channel you are not judged and that we still love you. Okay? Even if you believe whatever you believe is what you believe, and I can't hate or discriminate or whatever against you because of that. You know what I'm saying? That's the wicked mindset that a lot of people still have into today's times. You know, oh that, oh I don't like him. Oh I don't like him. Oh I don't like her. Oh I hate her. Like I don't know how people could think like that, but that's just the time that we live in. You know what I'm saying? So spread that love and let's check out the first slave owner in the colonies. Oh man, you ready? Let's learn. Let's take in some new stuff today. And I love y'all, man. Let's see. Make sure it's loaded up, baby. Make sure it's loaded up. You know what I'm saying? Make sure they can see it. Yeah. Yeah, baby.
While slavery existed in the American colonies through the establishment of the United States as a country until the end of the Civil War, there have been many misconceptions about slavery in general. Most Americans are not aware that there were some black former slaves and freemen who also owned black slaves.
Terrible.
And some
exactly.
Terrible.
But see, we get to these how can you say it? These TV shows and this media, these movies, and when people say this and that, and a lot of people don't even know the history. A lot of people don't know what they be talking about.
And they get mad because they don't know the history.
Like,
they're just like, white folk, white folk this, you need to respect us black.
And there are some people like to this day I've talked to, like, I hate white people. Like, how could you say that? How could you say that?
Because I could understand, like, being black in this country, it is hard to get good paying jobs. It's difficult to do this and this. But it's with any race that comes in with if you're Hispanic,
and exactly. In today's time, people are still going to discriminate no matter what.
It's very stereotypical how everybody would view each other. So just like Asian, Latina, if you're Irish,
people still going. It exists in all races, man. Yeah. You feel me? No matter what skin color you are, people discriminate off age. You know what I'm saying? These jobs discriminate off age. I mean, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just the world we live in. But hey, be the best human you could be every single day, and just know that we love y'all.
Just don't be ignorant.
You know what I'm saying?
Know your information before you speak on it.
Exactly. But let's go back a little bit.
Most Americans are not aware that there were some black former slaves and freemen who also owned black slaves. And some became very prominent in politics as well, despite the racial prejudice that existed. Some black slave owners inherited their slaves from their masters, who were themselves freed in their wills. Others were either born free or emancipated by their masters and then bought their own slaves, while others were able to buy their own freedom and that of their families. Who were these black slave owners, and how did they attain such a status in a white-dominated society? What set them apart from other blacks, and what made them comparable to whites in some of the colonies and later states? What changed in colonial society, altering the status of indentured servants to lifetime slaves? And why? Who was Anthony Johnson?
Anthony Johnson.
Hello, I'm Colin Heaton, former soldier, Marine Corps Scout Sniper, history professor, historian, and book author. And we will answer these questions and other issues on this segment of Forgotten History.
Oh man.
The vast majority of African Americans in the United States were enslaved, in all of the states, not just the South. Our first person of note is Anthony Johnson, who was born in Angola and captured by Portuguese slave traders, and he was given the name Antonio. Then his captors sold him into the Atlantic slave trade. He sailed to Virginia in 1621 aboard the ship James. The Virginia muster, or census, of 1624 lists his name as Antonio, not given, and he was recorded as a Negro in the notes column and indentured. Antonio, later Anthony, was bought by a colonist in Virginia, but treated as an indentured servant, which was not unusual, and Antonio worked for a merchant at the Virginia Company, and he became a Catholic. Johnson was sold as an indentured servant to a white planter named Bennett to work on his Virginia tobacco farm. Technically, he was not a slave because the slave laws were not passed until 1661 in Virginia. So prior to that date, Africans were not officially considered to be slaves in that colony. According to the records kept by his benefactor and the existing documents, Anthony was nearly killed in the Indian Massacre of 1622 when the Powhatan Indians attacked colonists in the Tidewater region of Virginia. On Good Friday, they raided the settlement, including the Bennett farm, where Antonio worked, and killed 52 of the 57 men present. Antonio apparently fought back and was wounded and earned the esteem of his master. In 1623, a black woman named Mary arrived aboard the ship Margaret and John. She was brought to work on the same plantation as Antonio, where she was the only woman present. Antonio and Mary married and lived together for more than 40 years. Around 1635, Antonio and Mary completed their indentured servitude, and Antonio changed his name to Anthony Johnson. He first entered the legal record as an unindentured free man when he purchased a calf in 1647. During this early period, free blacks enjoyed relative equality with whites, and about 20% of the free blacks in Virginia owned their own homes and property. In 1662, the Virginia colony passed a law that children in the colony were born with the social status of their mother. This meant that the children of slave women were born into slavery, even if their fathers were free, European, Christian, and white. This was a reversal of English common law, which held that the children of English subjects took the status of their father. The Virginia colonial government expressed the opinion that since Africans were not Christians, common law could not and did not apply to them, even if they converted, as Anthony Johnson did. On July 24, 1651, Johnson acquired 250 acres of land under the existing headright system when he bought the contracts of 5 indentured servants, one being his son, Richard Johnson.
Okay.
Under the headright system, if a man were to bring indentured servants over to the colonies, and in this particular case Johnson brought 5 servants, he was owed 50 acres a head for servants. The land in question was located on the Great Nassautuck Creek, which flowed into the Punkateague River in Northampton County, Virginia. This was where Anthony Johnson operated his successful tobacco farm, and one of his indentured servants was John Cassor, who became one of the first men to be declared indentured for life, effectively a slave. Under the 1645 Virginia Taxation Act, all Negro men and women and all other men from the age of 16 to 60 shall be judged tithable. So after a fire in 1652 caused him great financial damage to his property, he applied for relief in the courts and won. Back then, people were taxed, not property, but indentured servants and later slaves were taxed as property. It is unclear from the records why the Johnson women were exempted, but the change gave them the same social standing as white women who were not taxed. In the colonies back then, one was judged more on their religion as opposed to race or ethnicity in general, so until the advent of actual legal slavery, upward mobility was possible for many races. During the case, the justices noted that Anthony and Mary Johnson had lived in Virginia for over 30 years and were highly respected in their community. In fact, a 1653 Northampton County Court document lists Mary as Anthony's wife. By the 1650s, Anthony and Mary Johnson were farming 250 acres in Northampton County, while their 2 sons owned 550 acres. They also had additional indentured persons under contract, but the exact numbers are not known. His son Richard Johnson also had his own indentured persons, probably given to him by his father, who were effectively slaves with a shelf life. At some point, if contracted, they would have to be set free. In 1854, John Cassor, who had been sentenced to indentured service for life for his escaping a previous owner in 1640, filed a suit against Johnson, claiming his indentured service had expired, and he went to work for Robert and George Parker. Johnson filed a freedom suit to get Cassor back, but Parker won. What is amazing in retrospect was that Johnson, a black man, was not only able to file a petition to the court, but he was able to testify and give evidence in the court, which illustrates the rather egalitarian system in place at that time. However, Johnson appealed to the County Court of Northampton County, Virginia, and the court reversed its ruling and sent Castro back to Johnson in 1855.
That is right.
And Parker was forced to pay Johnson compensation. Then Castro made history, as he was probably the first person who was declared slave for life in Virginia. That means that his black owner, Anthony Johnson, was probably the very
His black owner. Damn.
But in a way, he's saving them, because even if he's enslaving them in Virginia, I don't know, because he bought back his children.
Yeah, I know,
You
man.
know, so then we don't know like the working environment he probably gave within it, but it's just like you have
It's a
to
lot.
work with me. He's probably like work with me for a couple years, and eventually you'll be free as well, and you'll get to move on, and I'll get to recycle this little thing, because the people that he had in his farm, he wanted to make sure he had them, and that he wasn't gonna, like, because if somebody wanted to take him back because of this and this, just like what he was appealing in court, he was able to get him back and get the white man to compensate for him.
Compensate.
Imagine that.
They killed me back. I'm telling you, they killed me back in the day. Man, I was one of them that was
He was
tired.
making moves.
I was tired. Yeah.
He was making moves.
He was making- yeah.
very smart.
He making moves,
his
though.
previous slave owner was a tobacco farm.
Yeah.
And what he did, he probably learned
They had them
how
acres.
he did it and did it the same way as well, and applied it to his farm.
I had them acres, man. Golly.
You had to think of it smart.
And then again, I know them times. I'm telling you, them times was crazy. I know things were completely different.
Yeah.
So man, I can only just imagine. Like, sheesh. Made them feel compensating. Is it okay?
It's okay.
That fella had to compensate, baby.
That is
very
right.
first slave owner in all of the colonies, himself a black man. There were both black and white indentured servants, the whites being the most Irish of all, who, like the blacks, were also sentenced to lifetime servitude before Castor's case. The difference was that the whites could eventually purchase their freedom in most cases. Therefore, Anthony Johnson was apparently not only the first African American whose right to own a slave for life was recognized in the colonies, he was therefore technically the first actual legal slave owner, regardless of being black or white, as established by the Virginia court. Soon afterwards, slavery was legal in all of the colonies. Later, Johnson moved his family to Somerset County, Maryland, and leased 300 acres for tobacco farming for 99 years, which he called Torrey's Vineyards. When Anthony Johnson died in 1670, that August his plantation was given to Robert Parker, not to Johnson's children. The justification delivered by an all-right jury ruled that Anthony's land in Virginia that was given to his sons could be seized because he was a Negro and by consequence an alien. As a result, the 50 acres that Anthony had given to his son Richard wound up in the hands of his wealthy white neighbor George Parker. It didn't matter that Richard, a free man, had lived on the land with his wife and children for 5 years. A judge then had ruled that Anthony Johnson, as he was not a citizen of the colony because he was black, but he did own his own slaves, could maintain his property. What soon arrived after Johnson's death was a system of legal slavery in which enslavement was lifelong, hereditary, and based solely on race, and effectively established in all of the colonies in the beginning of the 18th century. As a result, Johnson has been referred to historically as the Black Patriarch of the first community of Negro property owners in America. He was the first black slave owner to be involved in a court case that resulted in an indentured black man, John Castor, to be legally determined as a slave for life. In effect, because hereditary slavery was not in effect during his period of ownership of Castor, the slave for life and others he purchased, it is arguable that Anthony Johnson was in fact the first actual slave owner in the American colonies, and he was a black man.
We hope you enjoyed this segment of Forgotten History. Please click like and subscribe for
Forgotten history. He was a black man. I love y'all, man.
Yeah.
Could care less what your skin color is. I hate we had to go through that history. I hate we had to go through it, and I hate it happening. You know what I'm saying? I hate we had to. to get involved in the war, and that people had to die, and that people had to slave, and people had to get chained up, and some got sliced up, and just all kind of disgusting stuff.
But because of that war, he was able to then be free.
And that hot sun, man, sheesh.
Well, he said the next generation, because he did it before the law.
Yeah, I know. I'm just talking about the overall aspect of slavery and this history stuff in general, man. You know how I am. It's a lot to take in, though, But everything has its pros and cons. That's how we look at all these situations and all this history stuff that has happened before our time. Everything has its pros and cons. It's just how life works. But y'all let us know how y'all feel about that. Comment down below if you have any more details or information you think me and Bubbles should know, or anybody else in the comments should know. Feel free to let it all out. You know what I'm saying? We're just having fun with Bubbles on this on Bubble Saturdays. And if y'all want to check out OK Ash and her channel, I know a lot of y'all asked about her channel. It is down below, OK Ash. Just as OK Rick, OK Ash. And you can type it in there. She has 2 K's and 2 H's in her name on OK Ash, and y'all could go check out her channel. She makes amazing videos as well. But we love y'all, man. We wishing the best in everybody's life. Don't care what y'all look like, what you smell like, what the color your skin is, how short, how tall, how big, how skinny. If you've done something terrible in your past, on this channel you are loved, and we love y'all, man. And we're wishing the best in your marriages, your relationships, your friendships, your love life, your jobs, your careers, your occupations, and that all you live the life that you deserve. But leave a like on today's video. Subscribe if you're new here. And we got a lot of amazing more requests to check out. So we'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace and love, my beautiful people around the world.